Alright, Helen has published a dojo workshop today, and I am particularly delighted about this because myself and several others have spent the past 2 months working with the devs and each other to work on dojo fixes, changes, and improvements. And these have been broken down into 3 categories. There is the dojo changes and improvements, then there is the cosmetic additions, and then there's the economy. And so we'll get right into the decoration improvements, the first of which says they remove, or they are going to remove, the Clan Hall ranking order from building requirements. Now what does this mean? This means that when you go to build a Grandest Hall, you do not need to build a Grand Hall anymore. This has been the bane of dojo construction for a very long time, but thankfully this will be gone. Next up is they will reduce the circumference around interactive objects such as drums, consoles, vaults, and doors that prevented other objects from being placed near them. This is talking about red zones, and they're going to be reducing or removing red zones wherever applicable. If you've ever had to worry about a door or a console getting in your way, this will not be nearly as much of an issue. They're going to be replacing spawn rooms with a placeable spawn pad that will give players more control. Now this is fantastic for several reasons. The first of which is any room will be able to be a spawn room. You don't have to stick with the clan hall class rooms. So if you want to have a garden be a spawn room, great, you can do it. This also means that you're no longer going to be bound to trying to fill in the doors around a hall to get the spawn point to lock into one spot. You're not stuck by the doors anymore. So for example, on my Firelink Shrine room, people spawn by the door, and now I'll be able to have people spawn up by the actual entrance of the room from the game and approach the room how they should. This also means that combined with the red zone changes, you don't have to fill in the doors anymore, obviously, but you can also close off doors, because before, the doors that didn't have a room attached would have this huge red zone, but that's not going to be a thing anymore. And then they will add a preview all function for unfinished decorations, similar to the polychrome preview. That one's pretty fucking self-explanatory. If you want to be able to see, what your decorations or your room is going to look like beforehand, you will be able to do that, and it will save you a lot of time if you're waiting to see how things will bake. Now we are on to the cosmetic additions. They're going to be adding more Skybox options to the open space room. Now, as I understand, this will be toggleable or changeable from the open space room console. As I understand, this is not supposed to be just a separate room that you go build and it has a different Skybox. Like, you'll be able to change through them. And then placeable NPCs. I know a lot of you have been wanting to have a village for quite some time now, but you will be able to make that a reality. I'm sure they'll cost a lot of cap depending on the scenario, but we'll see how that goes. Then they will be adding the Cetus and Kuva fortress decorations. I personally am stoked for this because if they're adding in Cetus decorations, it is likely that we're going to be getting wood, usable wood, that isn't a Tenno bench that costs 3 capacity, and holy shit, we've been waiting a long time for that one. The Kuva fortress decorations have some good stuff too. I'm looking forward to seeing what people make with that. And then there is also the economy change. So the most recent decorations that were added, the new Deimos Infested and then additional Entrati, were all roughly 25% cheaper than standard. And they kind of hinted that they were going to be doing more with that, but now they're going ahead and publicly saying that they are going to be doing a rebalance. And the current plan is that every decoration will be reduced in cost by 25%, besides the new ones, obviously, because they were already cheaper. But otherwise, DE has been really great to work with. They've been listening and pretty much doing everything they possibly can when we point out like a bug, or if we give them a suggestion, they're actually listening and telling us, the feasibility of such a thing. If you're wondering, is this a one-time deal, or are there more things to come? There are definitely more things to come. I know dojos have been overlooked for quite some time, but they will be getting a lot more love in the near future. So just hang in there, and dojo decorating will get a lot better for everyone.